is up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. We've missed you. It's been a minute since we've really talked, but I'm here today. This is Arika speaking, by the way, you guys, because I know sometimes you might not know the difference between Marissa's voice and Arika's voice, but today you'll find out because I am Arika. I'm talking to you all live with our special guest, Angelo, my boyfriend. Hi, Angelo.
Hello.
Angelo is our guest on the podcast today, and we're really excited. So we're going to get started. We are filling in because Marissa has been having a wedding. She's been on her honeymoon. She's been spending time with her husband. So we decided to bring you a special couples episode of Angelo and I. Are you excited?
Yes, very excited.
We have a lot to talk about today. But first things first, you guys always know we have to start with what we're drinking. This is how it works around here. So, Angelo, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a hot black tea.
And what's the inspo? Why are you drinking a hot black tea on random Saturday afternoon?
I needed a pick-me-up from being tired.
Yeah, Angelo had to work, so.
After work, so.
Yeah, Angelo had to work today. And actually, I guess this is kind of a special episode because we are filming this on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of forgot, but
yes.
Today's my 25th. Today is my 25th birthday, you guys. I can't even believe it. Yeah. I'm old, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm old and also a cougar because Angelo's a little younger than me. Not by much, but by enough, okay? So we're going to get started with catching up and what we've been up to. Angelo did not prep for this episode. I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
He asked if we could just go in blind. So we are going to talk about things that we've been having going on lately. So try to think of some and I'll get us started. The first update I wanted to provide for everyone listening, though, especially our regular listeners who listen to our episodes every week, Angelo and I got our passports. So that was kind of fun.
I totally forgot for a second.
I know. I totally forgot, too. And it's kind of perfect because we've been talking about it on the podcast a lot. Marissa and Kyle had to get theirs for their honeymoon. Mm-hmm. I kept saying, oh, we're going to get our passports. And then we never did. Because it's kind of work.
Yeah.
It kind of takes work to get it.
It took a process, but.
It's a big process. So Angela and I finally got them, meaning we got them in the mail, said and done. We can officially travel international. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
It feels somewhat exciting because that one barrier to getting to travel internationally is just
removed.
It's removed. It's solved. We can now be spontaneous technically. Yeah,
technically, but we still have no plans.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, actually.
But
we're prepared.
You can't plan for a trip and not have the ability to leave the border of the country.
It's true.
So.
Yeah. We have some travel questions coming up, so we'll save it for that. But
okay. That
is an exciting update. Also, I wanted to talk about our experience at Ohio State the other day. Did you forget about this?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so let me refresh Angelo's memory.
Oh, yes, I do remember now.
It was so much fun.
That was cool.
So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it.
Thanks,
other
Dad.
day, shout out to AJ, which is Angelo's dad, also named Angelo. We call him AJ. Angelo's dad, he got the opportunity to go do a stadium tour of the SHU, aka the Ohio Stadium, at the Ohio State University, which, if you don't know, is where I graduated from and where Angelo is going to college right now. Big Ohio State people in this house. Only Ohio State people in this house.
Yeah.
Not really another option. But yeah, AJ brought us with him as guests for this event that he got invited to tour the Ohio Stadium. And it was freaking awesome. You have any thoughts? It was so cool.
It felt pretty special, especially how the event coordinators just laid everything out where it's Yeah, we walked in, facts were cool, and
it was so cool. We walked into I don't even know what to call it. They're not main gates. So when it's a game day, I don't know if you even go in that gate or not.
Yeah, they're all technically gates, but they might coordinate which ones are open and not. They don't only have one gate, but they have more.
Yeah, it was one of those really small side gates. It felt a little exclusive, kind of cool. We walked in, got on an elevator, and then rode up to what is that called?
One of the press boxes.
Yeah,
but it was the Huntington Club section.
Yes. So we went into the press box, and immediately, as soon as we got in there and checked in with our name, it was hey, would you like to try this food? Would you like to try that food? There are caterers all around carrying trays of hors d'oeuvres, I guess you will, and free drinks, alcohol, open bar. You just walk up, get whatever you want. Everything was free. That was the craziest part. You guys, we ate so much of the little free foods. I'll put it in the notes. Okay. You tell them about what food was your favorite, and I'm going to put in the notes right now to post the pictures. I took a picture of every single little food Angela and I tried. So which one was your fave?
The best food that was there was
wait, I remember.
Braised short rib on garlic mashed potatoes, I think it was
with
called.
A little gravy.
Yeah, it was.
And some greens.
So good.
Holy crap, it was amazing.
It was the most filling option as well. So, yeah, it was just... I think it might have been one of the first times I've had, like, real short rib, too.
I think mine, too, and it was just to perfection. It was like, as soon as it hit your mouth, you're like,
it was delicious. However, whoever was making those, props to you.
Yeah, props to you. That was so good.
Everything else was also still pretty tasty, but paled in comparison.
Yeah. We started with the best. We should have like built up to the best, I guess. But I will tell you guys really quickly some of the other like foods that we had because they were so good. So we had the braised short rib mashed potatoes that Angelo mentioned. I will post them on our Instagram story. Oh my God, to die for.
They had some dandelions on top too.
Yeah, they had greens on top that really tasted like eating grass.
Maybe a fucking clover.
The rest was good.
Do you guys cuss on this podcast?
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay.
Did you? What did you say?
I said fucking.
Oh, I thought you said 4-leaf clover. Okay, well there you go, guys.
I did.
We're in here. They had what was it? It's not orange chicken, but it was
like Thai chicken.
Just like a Thai chicken on rice. A berry ice cream blend?
No, it was just like a fruit.
Like a fruit blend.
Salad.
Fruit salad. Yummy. They had something that was disgusting.
Fake bao.
They had, horrible fake bao with tofu in it. And I'm not trying to be a tofu hater.
No shade, but...
No, it's no shade. I'm not trying to be a tofu hater, but we've had good bao. Mm-hmm. And so that pissed me off, to say the least. I was like, this bao is offensive.
Southern Grist in Nashville, Tennessee does a good bao.
They do. Okay, we also had this. I liked this.
That was tasty.
It was like a water chestnut with
I thought that was the
like a bacon
Nashville
wrapped
chicken, but
no,
you're talking about was
this
good
is like
too.
a bacon wrapped water chestnut thing with like egg, like hollandaise. I don't know. It was good. I liked it. They had a Nashville hot chicken. This was so cute. They served like little Nashville hot chicken nuggets on top of little pieces of white bread, like mini pieces. Delish. And I got a margarita. What'd you get to drink while we were there?
I had a glass of wine. I'm trying to remember what kind I had.
I have no idea.
I think I just said, just give me whatever white you have.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was really fun. So shout out to AJ again. Thanks for taking us.
Thanks, Dad.
It was awesome. And we got some iconic pictures. So not only, like I said, when we walked in, we got the food, we got the drinks. Then they gave us stadium tours. The official red coats, I think is what they're called. The official red coats of the Ohio Stadium. Some of them were working. So these are people that work at the stadium. What?
I'm remembering just like the funny things that were happening there. We'll tell you the story.
They had so many... Oh, your dad's wine? Okay. They had so many fun facts. Like these people that work at the stadium full time all the time are the ones that gave us tours. And like they showed us a part of the stadium that used to be dorms and people used to live in the stadium and work there. It was so cool. But then we got to actually go down on the field, which was so cool. And I like to say I'd never been on the field before, but I had. I forgot because I graduated, so I had been on the field, but never like that. This was empty field. Yeah. No one except our private tour, which had like 20 people or something. Like it was so small. And so we got some really iconic photos that I'll also put on the Instagram.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed was the whole stadium was completely empty, but completely lit up. All the lights were on.
It was so cool. There was an ad playing on the screen.
There was no shadows with how much light they had pouring from every direction. I thought that was what really...
It was awesome. And by the way, you guys, I'm drinking Moscato d'Asti. I asked what Angelo was drinking, and then I never said mine. Me and Marissa do that all the time.
Yeah, that's the wine talking.
That's the wine talking on my birthday, baby. Anyway, so that's kind of a little recap of our OSU stadium tour experience. It was so awesome. Highly recommend. Not that I can recommend because I don't know if you can just go do that. We got invited, so it was really cool to be able to do it. And then we watched a presentation, and then we went home. It was a great night. And then the next day from that, we left for our Asheville trip. So I've been talking about that. I know. I've been talking about that on the podcast a lot. You guys know. Angela and I went to Asheville, North Carolina for our 6-year anniversary. And how was it? Because Angelo has been raving about this trip since we got back.
It was definitely one of my top trips.
Ever.
Tied for first.
That's crazy.
Easily.
It was a much needed vacation.
Absolutely.
We're like nodding really hard right now. Like it was a much needed vacation.
Yeah, it was really good timing considering school all the testing there, but also really good timing for our relationship to spend that time together.
Yeah, it's true. So that was really cool. We went to Asheville. We went Thursday through Sunday, so a nice long weekend. We're definitely not going to recap every single event we did, but let's say our favorite parts. And if you guys want to watch, our trip, we always make a video. I made 2 videos about Asheville on my YouTube channel, and Angela and I, we get to shout out our shared channel. We are That Travel Coffee Couple on Instagram, so that's kind of fun. So if you follow at That Travel Coffee Couple, we're always posting like photos and videos of each of our trips, because we're a couple and we love travel and we love coffee, so it just makes sense. So Asheville, North Carolina, it was beautiful. We went for Veterans Day weekend, so it was fall, peak foliage season, right? We were right at the tail end of the good foliage before it all dies, which is really nice, and it was cool. We got to go to some cideries. So I just explained that to my papa today on the phone. I was like, how there's breweries and wineries. We didn't know there were cideries, but in Asheville we got to go to our first cidery, so that was awesome. Bold Rock, shout out to Bold Rock, because we had great food and great ciders.
That was great. I can't wait to drink the ones we got and brought
Yes,
home.
we brought some home, some Bold Rock ciders that we brought back from Asheville.
Blackberry.
So what was your favorite part of the trip, or favorite thing we did?
The food
so good
was the best part of the trip. I think hiking, I felt like we did what we appreciate most in every trip, over and over and over again. We just found more places to do exactly what we enjoy.
Always love
doing at all of our trips. The food was great, and the hikes were good too.
Yeah, it was really fun. My favorite thing was hiking Chimney Rock, I think.
Yeah.
Just because the view was so rewarding after hiking all that way. So like I said, you guys, follow us on Instagram, watch the vlog so you can see the view, because it was stunning and we got amazing pictures and video. The video of it was amazing. I couldn't believe the videos that came out of my camera. It
translated very well.
I can't believe it.
The kind of view that you get at the top.
You really get to relive it. So I would say we had a really nice time. It was interesting to see a new city together alone, because we're always traveling with somebody. Literally always one of our parents, one of our friends, family, whatever. We're always on a trip, but this is our first trip together since 2019.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is our first trip alone together since like 2019. So well-needed vacation, because we didn't have to plan or anything. We literally went into it blind. Yeah. I'm shocked. We never do that.
We had a list of things that we could do, but there was nothing planned.
Yeah. How did you like doing that versus how much I usually plan an itinerary? Like for New York, for example, I would make reservations, itineraries, whatever. What do you like better?
I think that planning in the moment is valuable for like flexibility. But it just comes with a little extra pressure of like figuring it out, so you're not wasting your time planning while you're already there.
Yeah.
So I think if you planned it while you weren't there, then maybe your plan would have less flexibility and you might plan poorly, because weather changes and things, you want to spend more time in certain places that you don't get to if you have a structure to your plan. So I think it was valuable how we did it. I think we're pretty good at figuring out plans to move forward, so it wasn't that challenging.
We don't have a problem with like sitting around and not doing anything if there's not a plan. Like, we are so doers. We just wanted to explore, wanted to do stuff, so we had no lack of motivation to do things. So not having a plan, we still made plans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like some people might go on vacation, and if they don't have a plan, they get stuck at the Airbnb thinking like, oh, I don't know what to do, and they get like crippled by the choice, and so they don't do as much. We don't have that problem. We are literally just like, let's go. Yeah. Let's go do something.
The hardest part was just figuring out the logistics of making sure we weren't wasting too much time driving
around back and forth.
Yeah. Backtracking and stuff like that. But
it's true.
Besides that, it's easy.
It was a fun trip. I'm excited for the next trip. We are leaving in 4 days from now to go see Marissa and Kyle. I'm so excited. We're going to visit Marissa and Kyle for Thanksgiving. You guys know the drill. We've been talking about it. But yeah, we're leaving in 4 days from today, which is my birthday. And I'm so excited. It's going to be so cool.
We're going to be doing lots of hiking.
Yep, we're going to see downtown DC again, which is really cool. We were just there in May, I think. So it's actually really weird that we're going twice in 1 year. It feels kind of funny. Yeah. But it's so exciting.
I'm excited to try some of the the food trucks they have there.
Yeah,
If
Marissa
I
was
can
telling
find
us
a
about
good
food
halal
trucks.
food,
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so the other thing I wrote on our catch up, aside from those things we've been doing, well, of course we went to Kyle and Marissa's wedding, but I'm only not bringing it up because that's what the next episode is all about. We're going to do a big wedding and honeymoon recap. So stay tuned for next week's episode to hear me and Marissa decompress, tell all the details of all the honeymoon things, all the wedding things. It's going to be really fun. But do you have any thoughts on Kyle and Marissa's wedding that you want to share? Because you're here and you won't be here next week on that episode. So the floor is yours if you want to share anything about the wedding.
Yeah, just a couple quick thoughts. It was the wedding that I felt the closest connection to.
Yeah.
As far as my closeness to the people actually being married. So this wedding was pretty special as my part as an audience member. It feels different
when you like really know the bride and groom versus when it's just like an extended family member that you see sometimes. Yeah. It's like we really feel like we're friends with Kyle and Marissa. So it's like your best friends and your family and like your whole family's there celebrating too. Yeah. It's just different.
It was awesome to be that close with all the people that were there, and the venue was beautiful. The food was tasty and the drinks were good.
Everybody looked so good. Yeah. It was just a pretty beautiful wedding. Well done, Kyle and Marissa.
Hocking Hills was fun too.
Yes, it was. We really got to have a weekend. Yeah, we got to have coffee, stay in a cabin, the whole shebang. Like, it was awesome. So shout out Kyle and Marissa for your wedding. It was so beautiful, and I can't wait to let all of you listeners know about it next week. So, okay, next thing I wrote down that you're going to forget about. I know you forgot about this too, but we made some travel plans for spring break of next year. I thought we could talk about it.
Yeah.
This is so random, but we decided that we're going to be going to Boston, Massachusetts next year with my family.
Ooh.
Did you forget?
I did. I remembered as soon as you mentioned spring break, but I'm remembering like all of the history that you can look up and learn about Boston. Boston is very critical in assessing like the American Revolution. Yeah. And I really want to see good sites that are there, and so I'm excited.
We're so excited. It's going to be cool. It's another one of those, like, we haven't visited Massachusetts before, either of us. So we get to cross off a new state together, which we have not done that in a while. We keep revisiting states we've been to. Crossing something off that we both haven't been to will be really cool. So that'll be fun. And yeah, we're going with my family, and we don't always go on vacations a lot. Like, I think our last one was in 2022 when we went to Orange Beach, Alabama. Such a good trip. Reminiscing on Orange Beach, like, I'm kind of sad because I'm like, I wish I was at Orange Beach. I love it there. Orange Beach, Alabama. Beautiful place. But yeah, we're going to be going to Boston. We're going to be having a lot of fun. We're thinking of stopping at Niagara Falls on the way to Boston. So that's really exciting. Do you sound surprised?
Yeah, I forgot we were passing through Niagara Falls, but one of my professors spoke about a power generation plant that was there.
In Niagara Falls or Boston?
Powered by Niagara Falls, and that I think maybe Nikola Tesla put forth some of the products that are there, and it's like an older generation.
Oh, that's really
situation that he highly recommended going to check out if you're in the area. So not only looking at Niagara Falls as the water feature, but also as a part of the industrial development of electrical engineering.
That's actually really interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's going to be fun for you.
Add that to the list.
Oh boy, I bet my mom will be thrilled. Shout out Reagan.
She doesn't have to come.
Yeah. It's so not up her alley. I'm just actually right now pulling up the Instagram questions because aside from that, you guys, like, we've been doing a lot. There's no way we can catch up all the time since Marissa and I last recorded, because we took, actually, you guys wouldn't know it, but Marissa and I took a whole month off of recording together, which we tried to make it so that you guys had episodes every week or every other week. So we tried not to leave you hanging for too long. So it probably doesn't feel like it, but we are rusty. We have not been recording in a minute. However, on Instagram, at We Went on Coffee Instagram, I asked you guys if you had any questions for Angela and I to answer on our episode together, and I got a couple. So that's actually really exciting, and I'm going to pull them up right now so that we can answer them for you all live on the pod. So I know the first one, I'm still kind of working on it, but I know the first one is people want to know how we met. A couple people asked how we met. So do you want to take it away? I'm always telling this story. I feel like I'm always saying it. And, I got to give you the space to give your side if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Get started. Take us back. It all goes back to 2017.
Yeah. 2017.
So long ago. 6 years ago.
I'm trying to remember the start of it.
The initial.
Yeah.
So I'll start there and then you jump in, because the initial, I feel like I knew of you before you knew of me. Mm-hmm. And that could not be true, but I think it's true. So in college, I lived in Morrill Tower. Shout out. I'm pretty sure it's fine if I say that now because I don't live there anymore. I lived in Morrill Tower at the Ohio State University. It is one of 2 towers that are dorms. They're like the tallest. They were the tallest buildings on campus. They are no longer. Sad. That means I'm old now that they made another building taller.
Yeah.
Morrill Tower. I was on, I don't even remember, floor 6, I think. And we had, every weekend I would go home, back to my parents for working at Cedar Point, which is where I used to work. I'm just really exploiting my old life, just saying everything. But I don't work there either anymore.
Yeah.
I would go home every weekend to work at Cedar Point, but my roommate Cheyenne, who was also my best friend, would stay back at campus because she didn't have to go home or anything. And so every weekend she would be hanging out with this guy that we used to know, one of our old mutual friends. Should we say his name? Or
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. I don't know if we should give people fake names or what.
Paul was a high school best friend of mine that features into the story, as Erica's mentioning.
Yeah, so him and Angelo and Paul knew each other because they were friends from high school, and Cheyenne had met Paul because Paul and his friends just went they went down every floor in Morrill Tower just going around to see if anyone left their door open to say hi. Because if you don't know, if you've never been to college, or if you never lived in a dorm, or if you just didn't do this, I don't know, we always would just leave our door to our suite hanging open, and that was a sign. If our door's open, that means you can come in and say hi, and we want to meet people. We want to make friends. To socialize. Yeah, invitation to socialize. That's a good way to say it. So we did leave our door open, and so Paul just wandered in and was like, "Hey, what's up?" and met Cheyenne.
Yeah.
So all these weekends, I'm going back and forth to home. Cheyenne is hanging out with Paul and getting to know him more. And then what happened? When did you meet them?
Sure.
You got invited over?
Yeah. So at this time, I was waiting for orders to go and do training in the military.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
Yeah. So I was trying to not waste time, and I was taking some classes before I was at Ohio State University. I was taking classes at Capitol just to work towards getting the general education credits done. And I remember just getting invited to have fun at Ohio State because that's where most of my friends had gone. Nobody I really knew went to Capitol University, and the social sphere at Capitol wasn't
so
really
different.
where I was feeling welcomed or comfortable or stuff like that. So I was just hanging out at Ohio State, partying with Paul, getting invited, just hanging out, having fun.
Yeah.
Getting to relieve some stress from school and stuff like that. So yeah, Paul and I are hanging out, having fun. And
were you just at his dorm?
Yeah, for a lot of it.
Randomly? Yeah.
And meeting all of the people
he's
met
friends.
with school.
Yeah,
just hanging out. Yeah.
Okay, so how'd you meet Cheyenne? So what happened?
Same story.
You guys
of
went
just
floor hopping, basically?
Paul met Cheyenne.
And he was just like, "Hey, come meet my Ohio State friends."
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just tag along.
Yeah, he tags along.
Meeting everyone's having fun.
Yeah, they end up hanging out, and Cheyenne decides that I don't really think I like Angelo, right? She's like, he's not my cup of tea. I think he's kind of a douchebag kind of guy, and I'm just not a fan. Did you know that?
Yeah, she
you got
didn't
the
hide
idea.
it.
You got the idea. You were like, okay, she hates me.
Yeah. Well, I sort of had the decision to not what are you doing?
Sorry, you have an eyelash on it's about to go in your eye.
It's distracting you. I got it.
You got it. Okay. Sorry.
I just didn't want to let bullshit slide. And I think that's where
Angelo
a lot of the
and I
friction
are rule
occurred.
followers.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put it like that. Angelo and I are so type A. So I feel like we're rule follower-y. We are what's the word? Just. We're just. We believe in justice. I don't know how to say it. It's
fairness and autonomy.
Yes.
Is very, very high valued as our.
We're kind of goody two shoes.
Moral spectrum. I don't think that's a good way to
No, I don't
describe
either.
it.
But it's that's what most people think of as goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Is that.
I think at this time of my life, I was really into philosophy and understanding psychology, and I think that presented itself as abrasive to some people, and that's how Cheyenne took it. It was just someone who didn't let her get away with stuff. Yeah,
and I totally did too at first, I think. But Cheyenne, so long story short, and Cheyenne, like, we're not exploiting her, by the way. Like, she would say all this. She totally, like, would say the same story.
And I was abrasive.
Yeah, you were. And I thought so too. But yeah, and a lot's changed. It's been 6 years. But so like I said, when I had been going home and coming back, Cheyenne would just like catch me up. She'd give me the weekend recap. Like, what happened while you were gone in Morrill Tower? And she would just tell me. And so the weekend that she met Angelo, she told me about meeting Angelo. They like went out to eat or go do something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I was the one with the car and someone wanted McDonald's. I was like, sure, I'll go to McDonald's
I'll drive.
too.
Yeah, so anyways, there's all this stuff that always happened each weekend. And she just got this distaste for Angelo. She's like, he's just kind of annoying. Like, basically, he didn't let her get away with stuff. Like he was saying, like, he didn't let her get away with like random silly things she was trying to do. And so she didn't like that. And Angelo didn't like that. So they were just like tiffing. They were tiffing. I don't know the word. They were like just having a little friction.
Butting heads.
So then, they were butting heads. And so then eventually Cedar Point closes and it's like, okay, finally Arika gets to hang out with everybody. Yeah. And we all decide like we're going to go to a Halloween party. Is that what happened? I think it is. Or I think maybe we did. And then you guys went to something and we went to a concert. We like split up.
That was before the Halloween party that we
So what was that?
Went to. That was something random. Like
I think we met for a few minutes.
Had gotten tickets to this event where we did a 5K run that turned into a concert afterwards. It was a lot of fun, and you and Marissa just happened to go to
a Max concert.
Another concert.
So we did meet briefly, and I think we just met for a few minutes. It was like, hi, I'm Arika, I'm Angelo, I'm Paul, I'm Marissa, I'm Cheyenne, whatever. Everyone just said hi, but then we went our separate ways. We took the bus, we got to our concert, you guys went on your run, and then we all decided like, let's all actually hang out, get to know each other. So we all were like, we're gonna go to Halloween parties, like on campus, frat row, like we're doing it up. We're doing the college party thing. Yeah. So my friends and I all dressed as the band Kiss, and we did the black face paint and the black outfits, and we looked all cool. And then Angelo and Paul showed up, and Angelo's dressed as, do you want to say? Or do you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Angelo shows up in this like gray long sleeve like dress shirt and then just like black dress pants. And I'm like, yeah.
Gray pants.
Oh, gray pants. Sorry, that's important, I guess. And I'm just like, he's a school teacher. Like, I don't get it.
Gray tie,
and he had handcuffs on his belt loop, and I'm just like, I do not know what he is. And eventually we find that Angelo's dressed as Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey, which I'd never seen. He was being 50 Shades of Grey.
That was really funny. It took you guys a really long time to figure it out,
we'd
but
never
other
even
people
seen it
got it immediately.
In seconds. Yeah, we had no idea. We were so like, I've still never seen it. I don't even know. Like, I was just like, okay, cool. So yeah, we all went out together. Now you have it. That's how we met. But we ended up going to a Halloween party. We had so much fun. And I was just like, I'm not supposed to like this guy. Like, this guy sucks, right? Like, I don't like him. Cheyenne told me, like, he's the worst. He's so annoying. He's abrasive. Like, I don't like him. And Angela was just undeniable. I just like, we hung out all night. We went to the parties and I couldn't help it. I was like, shoot, I think I like Angelo. Then I had to go back and do like the walk of shame of telling Cheyenne that I thought I liked you when I knew she didn't like you. And I was like, no, my best friend doesn't like the guy that I like. What do I do? But she was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Like, Cheyenne really pulled through because she was like, all right, I'll give him a second chance. And boom, like that in an instant, all best friends.
Yeah.
We had the 5 of us that were like best friends for years. And we really just went through college all being besties and hanging out all the time. And it was a fun time. Pretty crazy. You got anything to add or any misrepresented facts in our story?
No, that was pretty close.
It's so weird.
I had something, but I forgot
It's so weird to talk about it because it's like not something you revisit very often. People don't always ask us.
So just thinking back to like summarize what we just told you, that was the dawn of us meeting each other. Yeah. And that was probably the story span of like a month.
Yeah, it wasn't overnight.
Hearing about each other's existence to meeting each other and hanging out in a close setting of like going to parties together for Halloween.
Obviously it was Halloween.
On campus.
And we must have met like a month before Halloween. We had to have.
Very briefly, it was probably 2 weeks before.
I can't believe how fast we started dating when we really look back on it, though, because if you guys know, our anniversary is 11/11, November 11th.
Yeah.
And if we went out on Halloween, our first time really hanging out, and we started dating by November 11th, what were we doing? We were crazy.
We were having fun.
Yeah, so we just started dating, and then the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
Literally nuts. I actually can't believe that. We started dating within a month of meeting each other, and now we've been here for 6 years. How does that work out?
I don't know. I feel like
wild.
We both were working really hard to like find something meaningful.
We kind of knew what we were looking for, I think.
Yeah.
And then each other had it. It's just like, I don't want to call it luck, but it's a little bit lucky. It's like, oh, I'm looking for this, you're looking for that. Oh, I'm that, you're that.
I started thinking about luck within the last couple weeks on like what luck is, and I think luck is our way of explaining things we can't understand, where it's not luck of being completely random. I think if you work extremely, extremely hard, you might be considered luckier by some people because you seem to get things in your life, and you can't necessarily predict all of the things you will gain in the future from working really hard. So I think luck is just a manifestation of someone working really hard and seeing success. And I think this might match that a little bit, but it's like I'm still working on the theory of it, and you can't really explain what something like luck is because it's just,
I'm honestly really shook right now. I'm sitting here thinking about the fact that we only knew each other for a month and now we've been here for 6 years, and that's shocking to me.
Yeah.
What the heck? And Angelo, as you mentioned, like he was waiting for orders for the military, and so like the military has played a whole aspect in our relationship. We could do a whole episode, I feel like, on that dynamic, but it's just so crazy that we met for 1 month, and then not long after we started dating, Angelo actually had to leave and I had to be alone, and it was like, okay, are we really gonna date? And we were like, yeah, we're really gonna date, and we just never broke up. So that's pretty lit. I feel like that's enough of how we met story. If you guys want more though, let us know.
That's how we met, and that's just
and
the
that's all
beginning.
you asked, so we're gonna leave it at that. You guys, so ask us more questions on Instagram if you're curious, or if you want to have Angelo back, we could do more. But that's the story of how we met. And now I have another question. This is our last question on Instagram, so thank you guys for asking though, because it's so cool that even 2 people, or 3 people I mean, reached out and asked.
It's fun
awesome
to touch on topics that are being specifically requested, so
we know it's what you want.
Answers to something they're wanting.
Okay, this is a great question. So someone asked, home buying, what's the first steps, what you had to have to get approved for a mortgage? And that's all they wrote, but I know the question box is really small, so we'll just touch briefly on it. I do want to say, and I know it really just sounds like a walking self-plug today, but if you go on my YouTube channel, Angelo and I together did a sit-down YouTube video all about how we bought our house. We literally tell you guys how much it costs, how much all the fees cost. We like are so transparent on it, I can't even explain. So I'll link that on our stories today if you're listening to this episode when it comes out. If you guys want to go watch the video, because it's so in-depth. But I do want to answer this question for our listener. So what are the first steps, and what did you have to get approved for your mortgage? So let's talk about the first steps. You want to jump in?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think some people might say the first steps is finding a real estate agent or finding a good real estate agent. But I think that there's steps before that are more important, that I was able to ask my parents where I should start. And if you have parents that haven't purchased a house, that maybe you have friends or colleagues that have, and so there's people
or
in
us.
Your life.
You can DM us.
There's
absolutely
just people out there that you can contact to ask, like, where should I start? And then that likely will lead to finding a good quality real estate agent that isn't just looking to make a sale for commission, but that actually matches with what kind of personality you can match with.
So you're saying you would recommend finding a good real estate agent as your first step. Is that what you're saying? That
is the first critical step, because all the steps after that bank on having a quality real estate agent. If you have a bad real estate agent, then every step after that will suffer.
Yeah, totally.
But to find a good real estate agent, you need to talk to lots of people that you know, and some of them had good experiences. And they need to be people that you trust. Like, don't just go, I mean, you can totally just go asking anyone. You can ask your coworkers and your friends and whatever, but I would say really value the people that you trust. It actually kind of goes back to my 25 lessons episode where I said a quote, don't take criticism from somebody who you wouldn't take advice from. I feel like this falls perfectly under that. It's like, take your advice on getting a realtor or realtor recommendations from people that you think
you know, have a good financial situation in life, or like you really look up to the way they spend their money, or you think, oh, the way they bought their house is really respectable or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, don't just take one from the guy at McDonald's who said their realtor was really good. Yeah. Just because you asked, you know, really make sure that they're people that you value their opinions too. I think that's important.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was necessary to state, but I think just covering all of our bases that like you're not just asking anybody.
Yeah, really make sure it's people you trust.
That have opinions that you would value, and not trust blindly. Because I know we got recommendations, and we did not go with our first real estate agent. Our first real estate agent was someone that we didn't end up making a purchase with, and I think that that's just because we weren't
and she was a great realtor for someone else, and she just wasn't ours. Like, you'll know, I think, when you meet the person and you hear, you know, they'll walk you through, this is how you buy a house, this is the steps you have to do, and you'll know, like, oh, this is a really good ethical real estate agent that I agree with, or maybe they're not. And you don't have to go with the first person you find. Just like Angela saying, like, we didn't go with our first agent. You don't have to go with your first agent either. As long as you don't sign anything, which for our experiences, you didn't have to sign anything at all early on, until you got, you know, more financially involved. You don't have to go with the first one that you find. You can kind of shop around. Same way that people say, like, you have to find the right therapist for you, and, like, it's okay to switch therapists. It's the same kind of idea. It's like, this is going to be someone who's representing you and helping you get a home that you're going to purchase, which is a massive, massive purchase. You really want to make sure it's the right representative. So, yeah, definitely finding a realtor is your step one. I feel like there's a couple things around step one. Making sure that you actually want to buy and not rent is like definitely a thing. So I'm assuming that the person who asked, maybe they've already thought about that, or maybe they're just asking, like, after you decide you want to buy a house, what's step one? Definitely get a realtor. So I don't think we should dive too much deeper, because I feel like we could talk for another 2 hours about this.
I was gonna like touch on a couple extra things. I mean, go for it if you want.
I just don't want to like make the whole
I'm really
episode
going down the rabbit hole of making sure you find the right guy or gal.
I know.
Like, before you meet with your first potential realtor, you should have at least some background knowledge, do a little bit of surface level research of what real estate Google is, what it means, where are your rights, where do they start and end, because a realtor is a legal liaison through the buying process, and understanding where their responsibility is can protect you from being exploited. And I know that there were various government education programs that we participated in a little bit that maybe we took like an online course for, and you can get a higher quality loan or something like that. But
they just give you a lot of info.
Yeah, they give you lots of info, and going through a program that I guess is like put through by a housing program that's put forward by the government, you should be able to expect that that's reliable information, that's accurate. And they won't like push you in any direction, and if they do, then that can kind of throw red flags.
And I will say, like, another thing to note, especially for the person who asked this, it seemed like maybe they've not bought a house, I don't know, or like they really want to know, how do you get started with this? I do want to say something that we didn't understand at the beginning, and I don't know if this is true for every experience or just ours, so disclaimer, but you don't have to pay for your real estate agent. Like, you don't have to pay them. You don't have to pay them like fees or wages when they're representing you as a buyer, in our experience.
In Ohio, I think that is the law.
Oh, okay. So for example, when we bought our house, the person who lived in our house before us, who sold it to us, they paid our real estate agent. We did not have to pay her a cent, which is honestly insane considering how amazing. We are so happy with our experience with Nicole Harrison. I'll just say her name because I know that like word of mouth is a great way to recommend real estate agents. If you're in Ohio, definitely talk to Nicole Harrison of Harrison Co. I forget what her agency is named, but she is not
Harrison Real Estate Group.
Harrison.
We'll
sorry.
correct it.
Sorry, Nicole. But yeah, Nicole Harrison, we had a great experience with her. I looked there as well. We were like looking around our house to see if we can see it on something. She's just an amazing person. She's a total badass. She really knows what she's doing. She really knows her stuff. She's been in the game for a long time. She's a really strong advocate. She's very thorough, which is something that me and Angelo were looking for in a I think a big reason why we didn't go with our first agent, because our first agent was not thorough. We wanted more detail. We wanted to read every word on the papers. We want every detail we can get, and Nicole never made us feel bad for any of that, which I stress in the video as well. Like, that's the biggest thing that I'm so happy we went with her. But I also want to mention, she's not only an agent, she's a broker. So she actually has a brokerage. So she has a little bit of a step above where a regular agent would be. So anyway, that's kind of a long-winded answer to that question, but step one is finding a good realtor you trust. And if you have like other specific questions and you don't want to watch our video or whatever, you can always DM us on Instagram, like myself, my personal Instagram. Ask me questions. I will totally get back to you. I know that the question also mentioned, like, what do you actually need to do to get a mortgage, I think. And I'm not really sure what that question entails, but I will say something that when we were looking for a house that we were shocked to find is that a lot of the houses we were looking at in our price range were less, they cost less per month for a mortgage payment than we were paying for to rent in the same city. That is a possible thing. So I just want people to know that, because we had no idea. We just thought, oh, buying a house, expensive. Renting an apartment, cheaper. It's not necessarily the case. So I will say, like, you can find a real estate agent and tell them, this is how much I pay for my rent. What kind of price range am I looking at for houses? And they can turn that around for you. You know, they can do that like math or equation or whatever and turn it around and say, oh, if you pay $800 a month in rent, then maybe you can afford an XYZ number house, you know?
This type of house.
Yeah. And so I just want people to know, like, it's a little bit more accessible than, you know, people make you think. It doesn't have to be so scary. Yeah. It's really not.
There's lots of parameters and things you can select as your deal breakers, things that you have to have in your home selection, or things that are not so important that can open up the doors to more listings that you are able to look at. And so understanding where those things are at really helps, because if you are very narrow in what you are willing to pay for, the value you're looking to get from the money that you would be putting down and spending over the course of the payment over the house, you can be as strict as you want to be on that.
Yeah,
and
it's
anyone
your money.
telling you that you have to open up and accept a little bit more risk, or that you have to pay a little bit extra to get what you want, it's like, not necessarily
always the case.
There's lots of homes, they're building more, and the one that you're looking for exists somewhere.
Yeah, totally. And you need an agent that's going to advocate for that and not try to convince you that you want something else.
Absolutely.
That is like key. And I will say, like Angela said, go in with your non-negotiables. And I want to just really quick give tangible tips, because I feel like this was all still really vague because we've done it, so we like glaze over stuff. But step one, when you find a realtor, say your friend recommends you a realtor, you're like, okay, I think I want to try it. Shoot them an email. That is like a tangible step one. You send them an email to their business email. Hi, this is my name. I'm thinking I might want to buy a house. I don't know if it's something that's possible for me, but I'm really excited about the opportunity. Would you be able to set up a meeting with me? And you go meet with them in person. That is like the real step one. I just want to make sure I like actually said that.
Yeah.
That's how you actually do it. And from there, that agent should help you through the rest of the process. Like, that's the little piece that you have to do the work on. And then from there, the agent will do a lot of the work for you of what you're looking for. And I also want to say, be honest when you go into these meetings, because that was a big thing, is like, I think our first agent made me feel bad that I didn't know things.
Yeah.
And our second agent, Nicole, we walked in and said, this is what we want. And she said, okay, do you know about this? And I said, no. And she said, okay, I'll explain it to you. And never once made us feel bad if we didn't know a term, or if we didn't know a rule, or if we didn't know a clause. Like, she would just explain everything respectfully. And that's, I think, how it should be. So just be honest. Don't pretend to know things you don't, because that's what happened. That's what gets you into a pickle, is like pretending you know something you don't. You sign something you don't believe in, whatever. So read every word and be careful what you sign, and just be honest with your agent. And that'll get you a lot further, I think.
Yes. To make the educated decisions that are required of you, it takes work to get up to speed on what terms mean, how the legal contracts are written, understanding where responsibility starts and ends, so that you aren't agreeing to something you don't understand. That will just, in any situation of signing a contract, will get you into trouble. So remembering that is like it's going to require some work. You're going to learn, you should ask questions, and you should do extracurricular research on your own.
Yeah,
totally. That way you can cross-reference sources, just like all information should be.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I hope that answers your question, Anonymous. We always answer our questions anonymously. If you want your name to be shouted out on the pod, though, let us know. I'll shout it out. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to default to anonymous. So thank you for asking, and I hope we answered your question. I know that was so long-winded and probably a lot of information and very dense, information heavy, which I hate being. I try to be so, like, not information heavy because that's what's scary to me as a consumer. But it's all stuff you need to know, and it's really, I promise, not as scary as you think. And if anything wasn't clear, DM me, like I said. Mm-hmm. Okay. All that to say, we're at 45 minutes already.
Nice.
Look at you. You're podcasting your first episode. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I could do crazy. Better next time.
Okay. Next time. You guys let us know if you want Angelo back for next time.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
I need more questions.
I know.
More open-ended questions.
I know. Yeah. Definitely we will do another episode, but I have a couple more things. So I thought we could talk about our plans for after you graduate because that'll be fun. And then I have 2 more questions about travel questions that I just made up that I think are fun. So, yeah, let's talk about you. Oh.
What do you mean talk about me?
When do you graduate college? Tell the people, because Angelo's been in college as long as I have, but I graduated in 2020 because I didn't have orders from the military. I was just chilling going through college. So Angelo's had a different journey. So do you want to tell us, like, briefly about your journey?
Yeah, just coming out of high school and thinking about what I want to do with life and how I want to maneuver college expenses. The military is providing me with tuition, and that's how I'm able to make college work for me. That's what I decided to do, and through that I have to uphold some responsibilities with the military. I have to show up every so often. I have to go on deployments. I have to train and make sure I'm up to speed on everything, and in turn they pay tuition so that I can pursue an education. So, and
you also get to work and do things that you really like at your job, and you also have awesome friends. I just want to shout that out because it's not like you only get tuition. It's like you get really awesome things through this. I mean, awesome experiences.
If I didn't get the tuition, I would still highly value my time in the military, and I don't think the lack of tuition would be a deal breaker.
No, I don't either.
But it's a critical step, and if recruiters take away tuition, you will see a decrease in the amount of attendance in the military, which I think we're going through a struggle right now where lots of people are leaving, not feeling valued. So just to
throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so
yeah, I've had delayed school where I can fit in semesters. I do.
Yeah.
And
he's just been going to school here and there when it makes sense. It's like sometimes we're busy. Sometimes Angelo has to be out of the country, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he gets to be home, and when he is home, we try to squeeze in a semester. I feel like is how it's been going.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people get that because people are always asking us, like, when's Angelo graduating college?
Yeah.
You've been in college forever. And I do make that joke, by the way. I'm like the butt of that. Does that bother you?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, I sometimes make the joke. I'm like, I've been waiting for Angelo to graduate for 3 years, but it's always a joke. Like, I know why we're here. No,
I'm never offended by that.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's funny. Like,
I
us
know what
bickering,
I chose, and I know the value of how I'm living through life right now. So,
and I do too, and I accept that. And it's like Angelo and I's like humor is sometimes like bickering or like just poking fun at each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's our outward humor. So just wanted to point that out. But yes, I always say, like, I've been waiting for Angelo to graduate for 3 years. I'm ready to go. Like, I want to go travel the world. And so when do you actually graduate?
I'll have two semesters
so
left to go. And it's very close.
It's
very
so
excited.
Close. We can almost taste it.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So, yeah, with Angelo having only 1 year left of school, fathom that, 1 year. It's honestly going to be so weird when you're not in school because you've been in school the whole time I've known you.
I think it's going to be great.
Don't get me wrong. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But it's going to be strange. So when Angelo graduates college, do you want to say what we're going to do?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. When Angelo graduates college, our plan is to move into a van full time and travel the world in the U.S. and maybe the world. I'm sure we'll travel the world, but I don't know if we'll do it in the van.
Yeah, we'll go internationally, probably in the van. The van will likely touch Canada.
Canada, yes. And
easy.
Baja Peninsula, maybe.
As long as Canada stays okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
and welcoming.
It's our biggest goal to buy a van within this next year It's a hard goal, you guys. I talk about it a lot in the podcast with Marissa too. We never really get into that much depth about it. I just say like, oh, my goal this quarter is to buy a van, and I've been saying that for a whole year.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. Angela and I have spreadsheets, we have guides, we have like just so much. We have our budget, we have things figured out. We're looking on Facebook I'm on Facebook like every day looking at vans.
Yeah.
We know what we want. I did shout this out before, if you're out there and you're selling a Ford Transit, please DM me. Like, I'm not kidding. We're looking for a Ford Transit 350 van with a high roof and the long extended body, the longest that it comes.
And if it's all-wheel drive, that's a bonus.
Yeah, if you have that specific van, please hit me up. You might be my favorite person. So that's what we're looking for, but we're also not looking to spend like tens of thousands of dollars because we obviously have to put money into building it out and making it into like a livable space. So it's complicated. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that is our biggest goal in the next year, is to get that settled so that when Angelo graduates, we can hit the road.
Yeah, just like buying a house, we're applying the same principles to buying this van, because
That's a good point.
you can buy something that isn't all that high quality and you can spend too much, and there's people out there that take advantage of people that aren't informed. So we're taking a very slow and meticulous approach to finding the right van that's been taken care of, that isn't too expensive for the mileage that it's at and the wear and tear. So...
And the Ford Transit 350 high roof, long extended body is important for us because we are tall people in general. So we watch a lot of van life YouTubers. Like, we love Kara and Nate. We love Eamon and Beck. We love King in It. We love a lot of these like YouTubers who their heights are not so easy to find online.
No.
It's not like I could search like my favorite like Danielle Marie or Brooke Michio. I could search my favorite YouTubers on like Google and it would come up with their height. For some reason, our travel YouTubers, they're just not the same kind of like influencer in that way, that we don't know that about them. So we're like always trying to figure out like, how tall are they? Could we fit in these vans? Because they're probably average sized, and Angela and I are both above average for our, like, I'm above average female, he's above average male in height. Like, we're really tall. For Americans, yeah. So we're really tall, and that's like a problem for most vans. So that is why we're also looking for a specific model. So that's what we're looking to do when Angela graduates. I just want to talk about it a little because I've said it before, but it's kind of fun to do it together. Yeah. What are you most excited for van life?
The seeing what the wilderness of the United States
is like,
has to offer, what it's like, seeing our public lands and how beautiful the West can be.
I'm getting excited.
Just, you know, there's so many places that I don't even know exist in the United States, because the United States is massive, that I want to have the opportunity to find.
And the United States is massive, and when people travel traditionally in the U.S., it's like you travel to a destination and you hang out there and then you travel home.
Yeah, you fly above and over stuff, and you stay in that little pod of a city or whatever.
And we want to see the flyover states. We want to go in between. Like, we just want to see it all and see what there is. I think it's a really unique world we live in, that people do this now, like that people live in their vans. And I know it's not new, like I feel like that's totally happening in the 70s and stuff, but we have so much more technology now, and it's just a different world we even live in to be able to live out of a vehicle like that and travel the world.
Yeah, the quality of life can also look a lot different now because of the technology that we plan to put into the van.
We might not, but like I could have a whole espresso machine.
Yeah.
Like I could, if I wanted. We could have a whole gaming setup. Like, it's just so crazy that you can do that. It's incredible. So if you guys want to hear a whole episode about van life, hit us up. We could talk about it a lot. I love van life stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we already like have all of our, you know, we're picking things out for the van. Like, we're picking build out stuff. We're picking our internet provider. We're like, all of that stuff we're working on in the background. It just like, it's not something we really talk about with other people, because I don't know that anyone cares that much until we like actually get it. You know, it's just like the dirty work.
Yeah. If you want to get into the weeds, we can get into the weeds.
We'll get into the weeds. Yeah. We'll gladly hop in there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on post-grad life that you wanted to touch on?
I'm excited to see what kind of job I find. I have no idea what field of electrical engineering I will find myself in.
Yeah.
Or if I use my degree in some other way that isn't related to design. I have no idea. There's so many options that it's hard to narrow it down, because I think the job market for electrical engineering specifically is changing very rapidly. That
a lot of job markets are.
Yeah, electrical engineers are needed in a lot of spaces.
Yeah.
That like you can't even know until you meet the right person that opens up this whole new industry to you that you didn't even know existed, of designing to make sure that you can electrify a certain product that has never been put in that way. So
weird.
Yeah. That's something that was traditionally powered by something or some energy source, and now you want to have it battery powered. Like, there's lots of design that goes into it to make sure that that thing is safe. And
that's wild.
Yeah, more weeds I can go into.
He could go all day, you guys. Just, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 final questions. These are the ones I made up. They're kind of quick, but I just thought it'd be fun.
Okay.
So I'm going to surprise you with my answers. I don't think you know them about me, actually. So I want us to say each of our dream trips, like our biggest dream trip right now. It doesn't have to be like of all time, but just like one that's front of mind right now. And then I want us to do our dream trip that could be realistic within the next year. And I can start if you want, because I've been thinking about mine.
Okay.
So my dream trip, my biggest dream trip, this is where I'm going to surprise you, I think, because I've had a lot. I have a lot of dream trips. My most recent one is seeing the Northern Lights in Greenland.
Whoa.
That's my biggest dream trip right now.
Really?
Yeah.
More than going
Greece,
to Bali?
More than Bali. More than the Maldives.
Wow.
More than, yeah. Like,
yeah, that's new.
I know. I wanted to surprise you with it, but also I've really been thinking about it. We watched King in It, go to the Northern Lights and Karenate, and it's just like, Northern Lights has always been my bucket list since I was a kid.
Iceland?
And even knew Greenland. Well, I mean, we could also go to Iceland, like either. But I was like looking them up, and I found that Greenland's arguably one of the best places that you can see them. So I just thought that was cool. Yeah. And I want to see Greenland and Iceland. I think they're cool places. So that's my dream trip, biggest dream. And my dream trip that I do think could be realistic within the next year is just going to Canada. I don't know what part, but I haven't traveled internationally since I was a little kid, when I went to Mexico once, and I was literally a little kid. I've never done it as an adult, so I think Canada is a good like gateway to international travel. It's like we can drive, so that if something like we don't have our right paperwork or we need to figure something out at the border, we could just drive home, worst case scenario, and like it'll be a good way to really make sure we have our stuff together and kind of know the vibes before we fly somewhere new. Yeah. But I don't know. That's kind of mine too. What about you?
If I think about all-time trip that I'm extremely excited to do is to see Alaska.
Yeah,
Alaska
you've been saying that too.
Will provide northern lights. It has the ability to go into the Arctic Circle. It's
I actually want to go to Alaska now.
The wildest part of America. And as I was mentioning, of like ambitions for van life, it's just seeing the
driving to Alaska
wilderness of America. Yes. There's a highway that cuts through Canada to get to Alaska. You can drive
without crossing the border, or you do have to
have to cross the border.
Oh, that's so I mean I know you, by the way, you guys, I'm not geographically like dumb. I know you have to cross the border, but I didn't know if they were like, oh, you have to stop or not, if it's just like you can go to Alaska.
I mean, it's a very long highway, and there's cool history behind it too.
That's so
as
cool.
to like why America built it through Canada.
Let's go there.
How Canada let us build a highway.
Yeah.
right through, so that we have a connection between Alaska and the continental U.S.
Yeah. Okay, what's your dream trip that's realistic within the next year, if you have one? I had a hard time not saying Arizona, I'm not gonna lie.
Picking
because we love Arizona,
something
you guys.
quickly to not sit here forever and consider the options. Probably Colorado.
Yeah, you have been wanting to go.
Idaho. I think Colorado's probably a little
Boise.
bit easier to convince Erica to go to.
Yeah, Angela's been wanting to go to Idaho for as long as I can remember. He's
really
like, I think we should live in Idaho.
Yeah.
Boise, but yeah, you've been saying Colorado a bit recently too. Yeah. More than usual, I feel like I've been hearing you talk about Colorado. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it would be beautiful. I think everything's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to travel the world. Mm-hmm. All right, well, any final thoughts before we wrap up the episode?
No.
Are you going to do the outro with me?
Sure.
We didn't even talk about it. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of me and Angelo. If you want more of Angelo, please let us know. I still feel like I talked over you. I hope I didn't. I'm so bad about that. Blah, blah, blah. I ramble on and on. So if you want more of Angelo, let me know, and we will come with some questions that really ignite Angelo's passions, because Angelo has some freaking cool passions. He's very smart. He's so into engineering and space and all these freaking cool things. Video games, I don't even know. What would you say? Because I'm sure I'm saying different things than you would say your passions are.
I was talking with another guy in the military, and he just like tapped me on the shoulder and wanted to like meet me or something. He's just like, "Who are you?" And I was like, that's kind of weird, but like, this is who I am. And I was like, "Who are you?" And basically we just ended up talking about how critical it is to find people that are passionate. And he was like, what do you do? Like, why are you doing electrical engineering if it seems like you're really passionate about understanding people? Yeah. And
little does he know you're passionate about everything.
I don't remember how I got to this point, but I wanted to speak on like philosophy, and I like understanding as much as I can about everything that's out there. Yeah. So that's
Angelo in a nutshell.
Yeah. If you were to describe me as short as possible, saying philosophy is a pretty close summary.
Do you want to shout out anyone? I thought that might be funny, like if you want to give a shout out to anyone who might be listening.
Yeah, shout out to John in case he's listening.
I knew you were going to do that because we always used to shout out John in our YouTube videos too, and he always supports and listens. So I don't actually know if he's a podcast listener though. I'd be surprised if he were.
Yeah, on his Spotify Wrapped the other year, he had a lot of hours listening to our podcasts.
Okay. Hi, John.
Yeah, wherever you might be.
I gotta cut his last name.
John.
Okay, John. So if you're listening, Angela, just give you a shout out. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Nope.
Wow. Just John. That's so you guys to shout each other out like that. But anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed this episode, definitely let us know so we can do more in the future. We've been thinking about bringing guests into our podcast mix, which would be really fun, I think, in the next year. People who are friends, family, entrepreneurs that we know, like that we're close with. I think that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. My friend Taylor, she's like so cool. I feel like she'd be such a good one to interview.
Absolutely. She's got some good ideas in her brain.
Insight. She's lived life. Yeah. She has lived some life. She's so cool. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up because we're already over an hour. Angelo asked me how we were going to talk for an hour before we started. And are you surprised to be here now? Like, I feel like we just talk so much. It just rolls, you know?
I think you're good at talking a lot, so I think
Ouch. Was that a compliment or a backhanded one?
It was neither and both.
Oh, classic.
You could take it how you want to.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it as a compliment because today's my birthday. So that's
how it goes.
Yeah. Anyways, follow us on Instagram, you guys. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram at We Run on Coffee, I should say. And if you want to send us an email asking for advice, reaching out about anything, you can ask us questions. You can just chat with us, whatever. It's werunoncoffeepodcast@gmail.com. And thank you for supporting us because you guys listen and that's why we're here. If no one listened to the podcast, we wouldn't have one. So it's just cool to know that you guys listen every week. Yeah. If you are new listeners or if you just don't know us in real life, I hope you enjoyed like getting to know us. I feel like that's such a weird concept that some of you may not know Angela and I. But I hope you enjoyed listening. And if you do know us and you're our friends and family, shout out Natalie. I know that she's listening. If you're our friends and family, shout out Bernita. I hope you learned something new about us because that would be cool just to know if somebody learned something they didn't know about us. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to wrap it up because we're done. We've been talking for so long. So with that, I'm Arika.
And I'm Angelo.
And we run on coffee.
Whoops, I forgot about that part.
Bye.